What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back to yet another episode of Thrash Reviews, where yours truly, Thrash Maniac 99, continues to review upcoming hard rock and heavy metal albums in the calendar year of 2016, and tonight I'm reviewing another one that I missed from July, and this was another huge one, the newest release from Periphery, entitled Periphery III Select Difficulty. For those who don't know, Periphery is a band that formed back in 2005, I believe, and they had their first album out in 2010, I want to say, and then they had, that was their self-titled debut. Then they had a second one called Periphery II, this time it's personal, I believe, in 2012, or something like that. And then I reviewed their album last year. It was actually the last review I did before I returned to doing album reviews this year, and it was the Juggernaut Alpha Omega double album, which was interesting despite a few issues with the vocals and the over usage of that gent guitar tone. But they're back at it again with their fourth album, Periphery III Select Difficulty, so let's take a look and see what the band had in store for this one. So the first track I want to touch base on is track number 3, Marigold. And this was a very beautiful song, if anything. I mean, the vocals, to me, the frontman, Spencer something, I think, his vocals, to me, can be a bit annoying because, to me, it just sounds like I'm hearing Linkin Park too much, or some emo band or post-hardcore band that has that kind of nasally, almost nerdy kind of vocal style. But in the case for this, it does work out in some way. Whereas at times it does get to be a little, but hey, I guess it's just the way the man sings. But the music behind it, very intricate. Not only is it very proggy with the structures, but you do get some symphonic stuff from time to time. I would also consider this a symphonic metal album because of the usage of keyboards and orchestral arrangements within the tracks. And this song was a way to get things going. And it continued with the next track, The Way the News Goes, which was only a 5-minute track that had a lot of that kind of dark, murky, depressive atmosphere behind it. Mix it in with those heavy riffs and eventually the symphonic elements. You have a recipe for a hell of a track. But then we get to the longest song of the album, the closer, LUNE, which is about 8 minutes in length. Takes everything that they did on the previous 10 tracks and just mash it all into this one beautiful yet heavy tune that for sure closes out the album in a grand fashion, considering there were quite a few songs on this album I thought were meh, or just not the best, or kind of irritating. And the main factor of that is those constant gent guitars. Like, it's okay to use it sparingly, but to use it like on every part of every song is very annoying, and I feel like that's probably one of the big reasons why people can't get into this band or can't get into the whole gent stuff. Because, and it comes down at the end of the day, a bunch of this gent is just Meshuggah worship done, and it's Meshuggah done relatively okay. I can't even say poor because the music ain't bad, it's just I hear bands do it better. Say Periphery, Meshuggah, and Tesseract to some extent. But, yeah. So overall, with Periphery III Select Difficulty, definitely I felt it was a slight step up from Juggernaut Alpha Omega, but it does sound like the band, even though this is their fourth album, it still sounds like they got a lot of work to do and a lot of growing and evolving to do in order to become one of the true greats of modern prog music. I would probably give this an 82 out of 100, mainly because the album kind of started off rocky with the first 2 tracks kind of stumbling with also just that overusage of that guitar sound. It picked up with track number 3, and it was awesome for the next 3 after. Then it slipped again with the track Flatline. I felt they kind of were going back to that idea of the first two songs. It picked up again with the next two tracks, and then it slipped a bit with Prayer Position, and then it closed out in a big way with LUNE. So 82 out of 100 for Periphery 3 Select Difficulty. Will this be on the Album of the Year list? I don't know. I have to look back at my other ranks and really figure out how it's going to go. But anyways, 2 more albums left. 2 left, and it's Devin Townsend and Epica. I'll probably be doing Devin Townsend next, so be on the lookout for that later on tonight. And then after that will be Epica, and then we'll have 2 different lists. We'll have the top 20 albums that I missed this year, and then all day Sunday, top 50 album of the year list in 5 parts. So be on the lookout. But until then, peace.